So, UEFA Champions League quarter-final, first leg. This is where it gets really crucial. This is where it gets, you know, pumped up. Everybody's pumped up. Everybody's fired up and ready to go on. And it's a huge, big two games we've got coming up. Well, first match is Real Madrid against Bayern Munich, two European royalties. And obviously Real Madrid is the most exceptional one, of course. But a very important game for both clubs. Real Madrid, obviously, it's their only chance of winning a trophy this season. They lost the Copa del Rey, they lost the Spanish Super Cup, and for sure they will lose La Liga. So this is a Champions League, and obviously they have a great record in the Champions League, as we all know. Whereas Bayern Munich, they're hoping to win their first Champions League since 2020. I mean, since they won their last time in the Champions League, they've been knocked out in the quarterfinals 2021, 2022, 2023, semi-finals in 2024, and last year quarterfinals. They've been knocked out every time in the quarterfinals since they won in 2020, except that year in 24, where they lost to Real Madrid actually, thanks to two winning goals from Joselu. But I mean, Bayern Munich are in a very good run of form. They play great. They play great football. They've been absolutely great to watch this season. They've been fantastic, Bayern Munich, and Bayern Munich. They've been one of the best teams in Europe this season. You look at how they performed, especially against PSG in the league phase, where they were down to 10 when they were down to 10 men, and how they coped with it, and they still went on to win the game. Yes, they had some mishaps, like for example they lost to Arsenal, but other than that they've been fantastic this season, especially the strong teams like Atalanta. But obviously this is the biggest test they're gonna face this season, the biggest one right now, which is Real Madrid. Obviously the qualities that they have, the experience they have, the history that they have behind them in terms of how many Champions Leagues they won. This is going to be the biggest test for sure that Bayern Munich have faced this season. But Bayern Munich have been exceptional this season, especially with the quality of the players they have. Luis Diaz has been fantastic. Michael Olise, I mean, that guy has been absolutely amazing. And if he keeps this level of great form and Bayern Munich potentially go on and win the Champions League, and he has a great World Cup, and France has a great World Cup, I think Olise could even have a very good chance of winning the Ballon d'Or, and I'm not even exaggerating, but obviously France have Kylian Mbappe, so that might prevent that happening. But at the same time, not that I'm calling Mbappe a dictator, as you guys have seen the meme, but because Mbappe is obviously he's a superstar and he's a fantastic player, of course. But Bayern Munich, they've been fantastic. However, even though defensively they've improved, defensively they can be shaky as well. They can get exposed sometimes. So this is something they will have to avoid that in this game against over two games against Real Madrid, over 3 games, because obviously Real Madrid have great attacking firepower with the likes of Vinicius and Mbappe. So yeah, and obviously Bayern Munich will have the advantage. They do have the advantage because they're going to play at home in the second leg and away in the first leg. But at the same time, these kind of advantages don't affect Real Madrid that much. I mean, Real Madrid have been in this position many times before, and they've coped with it really well. So Bayern Munich, even though they've been fantastic this season, they're going to have to be prepared for the biggest challenge, the biggest test they're gonna face this season, which is obviously over 2 games against Real Madrid. So yeah, and not only they've got a great attacking firepower by Munich, also the quality of the players they have, the experience, the likes of Kimmich, who's a top quality midfielder. I don't know what's wrong with the camera, but anyway, who's a top quality midfielder, and they've got experienced players. They've got Harry Kane. I mean, obviously Harry Kane. A lot of people say he doesn't step up in big games, etc. etc. So I think this is a great opportunity for Harry Kane to prove over 2 games that he actually can step up in the biggest stage. He can score the big goals for Bayern Munich and win the Champions League. And Harry Kane, listen, he's a fantastic striker in terms of all round, in terms of goals and contribution, his all-round game. But I think this game will be very important for him to prove that, to the people and to himself as well, more importantly, that he can step up in this kind of big games to help Bayern Munich, take a big step in terms of winning the Champions League. So, yeah, for Real Madrid, I mean, listen, Real Madrid haven't been that great this season. However, when it comes to the Champions League, there's something else. There's something else. This is where they really shine. This is where they switch the lights on. This is where they get really pumped up. This is where the fans get pumped up. This is what makes the players pumped up, the whole club pumped up. So it's in the DNA of the club. So I mean, obviously defensively Real Madrid are shaky, but I think with the quality that the players they have in attack, especially with quality other players they have like Valverde, who's a fantastic player, and he was a huge contribution to City to Real Madrid winning against City over 2 legs. Trent, he did really well for Real Madrid against Man City, and Real Madrid, they had lots of injuries, lots of problems against Man City before the game against Man City, but they handled it really, really well over 2 games, and they beat Man City comfortably over 2 games. Now they have those players potentially coming back, like Vinicius, Bellingham, and Mbappe, and if they are fit, obviously they could play. But obviously Real Madrid have to be aware because they have 6 players who are at risk of suspension, and 3 of them are Bellingham, Vinicius, Dean Hutchinson, and Kylian Mbappe, and Carreras as well, if I'm not mistaken, Carreras or Garcia, one of them. So they have to be aware, also to be careful and not lose discipline control. Because these kind of things, obviously, because if they get a yellow card in this game, they're going to miss the second leg. But despite that, Real Madrid, whenever they had issues against them, they mostly cope with it really well. Look at Courtois. Courtois was missing for Real Madrid in 23-24 season, and Real Madrid did really well to go and win the Champions League until obviously Courtois played the final only. Courtois is missing again. He's going to miss again for Real Madrid, and London is going to most likely play for the rest of the season, maybe until Courtois comes back for the final, if Real Madrid qualify. So, yeah, but I think if you ask me in the technical side, who should go through over 2 legs, I think Bayern Munich should go through over who's the better team, etc. But football doesn't always work like this. So it's not only played by the technical side; it's also played by the mental side. How are Bayern Munich going to cope with it? How are they going to cope with the atmosphere, and how are they going to cope with conceding a goal, having a setback when they play against Real Madrid? Because whenever you concede a goal, Real Madrid, whenever Real Madrid smell blood on you, they will take advantage. They will not be like on defense here. So Bayern Munich have to be careful. And obviously the atmosphere they will be fired up. Like I said, the fans will be fired up, and I will be the 12th man to the players. So it's going to be a fantastic game, especially great game, great tie over 2 games. So I'm really looking forward to a great battle, a great clash between these 2 fantastic clubs, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. Match prediction. First leg, I actually think Real Madrid will win. I'll go for a 2-0 win for Real Madrid. I just think with the quality, the history, the heritage they have, with the quality of the players they have, especially in attack, I still think Real Madrid will beat Bayern Munich. Not only this game, but also over 2 legs. Sporting Lisbon against Arsenal. Sporting Lisbon, they've been fantastic this season, especially in Champions League. Not so much in the league because they're not leading in the Portuguese league, but in the Champions League they've been very good. They finished in the top 8 in the league phase. They had some big wins, especially one of them was against Paris Saint-Germain, the European champions. And also they completed a great comeback against Bodo Glimt, where they were 3-0 down, and then they pulled off a great comeback over 120 minutes against Bodo Glimt. So it's a very good team, and at home they're usually strong as well. So yes, I know the last time they played against Arsenal won 5-1, but I think Sporting Lisbon were they just I think the first game with the new manager, if I'm not mistaken, because Amorim left and then they brought in a new manager. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Arsenal should qualify for 2 legs, but I don't think this one, especially at Sporting Lisbon at home, I don't think it's going to be easy for Arsenal. So Sporting Lisbon will give a difficult game to Arsenal. They'll obviously try to attack. So let's see how Arsenal go about and deal with it. So yeah, and also Arsenal have to be careful because it could be similar to the Bayer Leverkusen game when the first leg Arsenal were poor, but even though they got away with it with a draw, but they rectified in the second leg. So Arsenal they'll hope to, but they have to avoid that having this kind of difficult performance in the first leg in this game against Sporting as they had against Bayern Leverkusen. And Arsenal have to bounce back. They have to bounce back. Obviously, there are two damaging defeats. Not damaging, but like not ideal defeats, let's say. Carabao Cup final and losing to Southampton, a championship side, in the FA Cup quarter final. They have two competitions to play for. I still think they should go on with the Premier League. Champions League, obviously, it's tough, and I think they should beat Sporting Lisbon. And then the semi-finals, it could be Barca, it could be Atletico, and then the final, who knows if they beat one of those Spanish sides. So, Arsenal have to bounce back. They have to bounce back. They can't lose another game. They cannot lose 3 games in a row. So they have to bounce back very, very, very quickly. So yeah, it's a very important game. Obviously, they have players coming back from this game like Declan Rice, Gabriel Magalhaes, etc. But they're gonna have players missing like Bukayo Saka and Timber, which is not ideal, of course, for Arsenal because Timber is a fantastic player and Saka is a good team player for Arsenal. So yeah, I expect Arsenal to qualify over 2 legs, but I think this one will result in a draw. I think Sporting Lisbon will make it difficult for Arsenal in this game. So I think Arsenal will qualify for 2 legs, especially at home in the second leg. But I think this game will be I think it will be a 1-1 draw. So that's my score prediction. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a nice day. See you next time, and goodbye.